Dubious Khan, and welcome into the Idiot Box, where we take a look at television of the past and present and try to figure out where things went so horribly, horribly wrong. I am an 80s kid. I spent most of my childhood in that decade, and as a result, I was around for all those great toy-based shows that we all know and love today. I was there for the original run of Transformers, G.I. Joe, and today's offering, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Licensed by Mattel to Lou Scheimer's Filmation Studios, He-Man broke new ground in kids programming by being not only the first show to be developed concurrently with a toy line, but also being the first animated show sold directly into syndication for a daily broadcast, as well as the first show to sell 65 episodes in one season, thus creating a new business model for kids' TV. The show was a breakout hit, not only being one of the few shows in Filmation's library to get more than one season, but also getting a spin-off, She-Ra, Princess of Power, a lame-ass French revival in the 90s, a much cooler reboot in the early 2000s, and even a live-action movie that, quite frankly, we all enjoy bashing at every turn.
Everything comes to he who waits. And I have waited so very long for this moment.
Although, for the record, Frank Langella is an awesome Skeletor, and, well, let's just say hit puberty about the same time that Meg Foster hit the screen as Evil Lynn.
Now, before I begin reviewing the episodes of this show that I've selected to eviscerate for your viewing pleasure, let me preface this review by saying that I love Filmation. I love every cost-cut frame of animation, every cliched bit of dialogue, every bit of recycled footage, and every god-awful PSA that ever showed up at the end of an episode. Hell, as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate shows that didn't grab me when I was a kid originally. Because for all its faults, Filmation was a pretty big success for most of the 80s, and it did it all without exporting a single frame of work overseas. Sure, it was a move that would end up eventually closing the company down, but for a while, Filmation was, by God, 100% made in the USA!
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Okay, enough of that. As much as I love Filmation, I'm not blind to its flaws, and while He-Man was cheesy as hell, there were still some pretty awesome episodes. And some god-awful ones that made me want to cringe.
Oh no, my mother didn't raise any foolish children.
God-awful episodes that made me want to wince. Yeah. So that said, let's dive into the pain of two of the worst episodes from the first season of the series, The Cosmic Comet and Evil Lynn's Plot.
Fortunately, for those of you who haven't ever seen this show in its original form, it was almost a requirement of every 80s cartoon series to explain the premise in the opening sequence. So let's let the man himself explain it.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull.
And there are no homoerotic undertones in the context of this show. Seriously, don't let the pink shirt and the voice throw you off.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said...
In retrospect, it was probably a bad idea for me to hold aloft my magic sword on the bus, but the judge only gave me a suspended sentence and mandatory counseling, so it's all okay now.
By the power of Grayskull!
Is it just me, or does that armor make Battle Cat look like Jimmy Durante?
Good night, Lou Scheimer, wherever you are. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
Okay, so after that we go to the title card for the episode, which in this case is The Cosmic Comet, which was written by some hack named... Wait a minute. Tom Ruegger? As in completely awesome Animaniacs writer Tom Ruegger.
Yes, folks, as much as people like to complain about Filmation, one thing they can't deny is that it was in fact the starting point for a lot of great animation directors, writers, and artists. But back to this actual episode. Come on, Ruegger, let's see what you got.
So we open on a completely out-of-scale Evil Lynn and Beastman standing outside the gates of Castle Grayskull.
The stars are in the right position, Beastman.
The stars are right? Holy Jesus, they're gonna summon Cthulhu! Run!
No, actually, the Cosmic Comet of the title is passing over Eternia, and this, for some reason, gives the bad guys the power to open the gates of Grayskull. So Evil Lynn blasts the door with some kind of magic eye bolts or something, which forces it to open, and...
Well, look who's here.
Really? He-Man and Man-at-Arms just happened to be at Grayskull waiting for them. Okay, I know Skeletor and his goons attack the damn place on a daily basis, but come on! Alright, whatever, we'll just talk it up to time constraints. Let's move on.
Beastman charges at He-Man only to be hilariously thrown off the bridge and into the moat below.
Wait, did he just say what I think he said? Oh, yuck. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense. One thing, Beastman, enunciate!
Now it's Evil Lynn's turn. This should be good. She fires a bolt at He-Man, who reflects it back with his sword. Oh, come on, it's a damn piece of metal. I know it's magic and all, but for crying out loud, it's not like it's a mirrored surface or anything. And look at this, she's vulnerable to her own magic. By all rights, wouldn't that mean her eyeball should have been burned out of her sockets when she opened the drawbridge to the castle? Anyway, so the two villains end up covered in I don't want to think about it.
First. Well, they won't be bothering us for a while.
Yeah, because it'll take weeks for them to go home and, shower.
After that brilliant tactical analysis, He-Man and Man-at-Arms receive a telepathic projection from the Sorceress. For those of you who don't know, the Sorceress is the mystical guardian of Castle Grayskull and the secrets that lie within its walls. Which begs the question, why the hell is she projecting herself to the front gate? She couldn't be bothered to just walk down the stairs and talk to them in person? You do know we're just outside, right? Yes, I do. So why not come down here and talk to us in person? I'm busy with cosmic matters. Yeah, but we just fought off Skeletor's lackeys for the umpteenth time. Is a little personal interaction so much to ask for? All right, fine. I'm on the bloody toilet. Are you happy now? Ew. So the Sorceress tells our heroes that the raid was only a test of the Cosmic Comet's powers, and that Skeletor plans to use the power of the comet against Eternia.
Wait, hang on. I thought the whole point of this series was if Skeletor got a hold of Castle Grayskull, he'd be able to conquer all of Eternia. So how the hell could this be a test? Thanks for that explanation, Sorceress.
It will take more than just courage, He-Man.
Yeah, I'm thinking, big fucking gun would be a good thing to have at this point.
Zagraz will explain it to you.
Oh, of course, Zagraz! The guy we should all know about, despite this only being the second episode of the series.
Who is Zagraz?
Oh, okay, so it's not just the audience that's lost.
He's the wizard of Zagraz Mountain.
Wait a second, I can buy the audience not knowing who he is, but this guy has his own mountain and He-Man's never heard of him? Ruger, if you're gonna leave a glaring hole in your story logic, you might not want to do it in 2 consecutive lines of dialogue.
More than a wizard. He's keeper of the comets.
Keeper of the comets? What, he keeps them like pets or something?
Anyway, for some reason, Man-at-Arms and Prince Adam ask permission from King Randor to go off in search of Zagraz, and the King assigns Teela to go with them.
Is it just me, or was King Randor the inspiration for the Burger King?
And it's at this point that Orko shows up. Oh god.
Okay, before we go any further, I need to give you a brief history lesson for those of you who mercifully missed this dark period in children's programming. The curse of every ensemble cartoon on the air. The annoying, cute/funny comic relief. I can only think of 2 shows at the time who managed to escape this plague. G.I. Joe and Transformers. All the other shows on the air always had this one character that was designed to appeal specifically to the kids who were watching. And what was the result of this brilliant marketing decision? Well, if you set a plague of uninteresting, unfunny, and ultimately annoying sidekick characters, you're absolutely right.
Whether it was Uni, Belfry, Deputy Fuzz, T-Bob, or Snarf.
God, I hated Snarf, that whiny little fuzzball. I just wanted to take his scrawny little neck and grab a hold of that beard, and then take a burning hot cigarette and burn his eyes out, and then I was gonna... But, We'll get into that more when we get to the Thundercats review. Let's move on.
Anyway, these characters were little more than annoyances and distractions, or at best, plot devices where things got rolling because they filled in as the show's token idiot who fucked up and created the problem in the first place.
In any event, here we get Orko, mentioned in the intro as being one of the 3 people who knows that Prince Adam is He-Man. Orko is the court magician, and like all annoying sidekick characters, he's no damn good at it, and causes more trouble than he's worth. I give you Exhibit A.
Well, I guess I should stick around here and practice a few tricks for the banquet.
On the other hand, one can never tell what might come in handy. All right, Orko, you can go.
Boy, couldn't even be bothered to pretend to consider the consequences there, could you, Randor? And don't our heroes just look kind of blasé about the news, actually? Filmation, too cheap to waste money on expressions of disappointment. We then cut to Snake Mountain, where Skeletor, the most evil villain with the most ridiculous voice ever, begins to enact his diabolical plan.
The time has come. Join hands as we bring together our mystic powers.
What? I mean, aside from being able to talk to animals, Beastman doesn't have any mystical powers. He's Skeletor's obligatory dumb brute and foil. But whatever, I guess we gotta work the sheer uncomfortable factor into this somehow.
So they channel their powers and take control of the Cosmic Comet and turn it into a giant sperm. Okay, so it isn't actually that, but you couldn't have picked a different color to indicate Skeletor had control of it? Meanwhile, our heroes, traveling what has to be the most impractical vehicle ever, arrive at Zagra's mountain.
Wow.
What's that?
Zagra's mountain. We're here.
Affirmative. Any special instructions?
Yeah, turn back.
I honestly don't know who's more annoying here, Orko or Cringer.
They get to the top of the mountain and are met by Zagras, who in true 80s tradition isn't wise or imposing, but is instead an annoying old man who appears to have been possessed by the ghosts of Ed Wynn and Snagglepuss.
So what can I do for you?
Well, you could shut up. That would be helpful.
We were hoping you could tell us something about the Cosmic Comet.
The Cosmic Comet?
Yeah, Skeletor is planning to take control of it and...
Oh, Skeletor! Oh no! This is terrible! Terrible!
We agree. Your voice acting is terrible. Please shut up now.
And it's all my fault.
What do you mean?
I'll show you. Oh, once there were 2 happy comets wandering the universe.
Happy comets. Yep, you heard him correctly. Happy comets that look even more like sperm than the ones we saw a few minutes ago.
I wanted to control them as I controlled all the other comets. So I cast a spell. But I made a mistake. I was so eager to prove my greatness that I used too much power in the spell, don't you know?
Really? You used the phrase, "don't you know," with that voice? Okay, it's official. Zagras is the most annoying character in this episode. He's making Orko look like Kenneth fucking Branagh.
And I destroyed one of the comets. The one that remained grew lonely and evil without its friend. It lost its heart.
One moment, please. Dictionary.com. Comet. Here we are. Comet. Noun. A celestial body orbiting the sun in a highly erratic orbit, usually consisting of a central mass surrounded by an envelope of dust and gas that may stream away from the sun. In short, it's a ball of dirt, gas, and ice in space. Comets do not have emotions or internal organs.
So Zagras bitches about what an idiot he was to destroy the... Cosmic Comet's friend. Meanwhile, Skeletor orders the Cosmic Comet to send creatures after Zagras in order to prevent the old wizard from stopping him. And these horrible monsters are... the incredible generic people. Whatever. Cringer runs off while everybody else fights the apparently unalive monsters. You know, we gotta get this past the censor somehow. Adam finally changes into He-Man and turns Cringer into Battle Cat.
just me, or does Battlecat have a split personality? I mean, he's all whiny and cowardly as himself, but suddenly you make him half a size bigger and put some chintzy battle armor on him and he's suddenly a badass? That's not a secret identity. That's full-blown dissociative identity disorder right there.
Zagreus attempts to control the comet creatures, but of course he fails miserably and has to be rescued by He-Man. Zagreus whines and He-Man saves everybody. Orko reports that Zagreus is injured and they haul him off to Castle Grayskull, while Orko gathers up the remnants of the comet monsters. After dropping Zagreus and Orko with the Sorceress, He-Man, Teela, and Man-at-Arms head off to take on Skeletor.
Teela, Man-at-Arms, let's go see Skeletor.
Arrival in 2.709 seconds. All passengers be prepared. Old Bonehead is probably waiting.
Did I mention the damn vehicle talks and tries to be funny? Oh yeah.
Beastman tries to stop the heroes, but gets taken down and hilariously winds up in the mud again. After this, Skeletor and Evil-Lyn get more power from the Cosmic Comet and get ready to take their turn.
Do you feel it, Evil-Lyn?
The sheer stupidity of this story is sapping their will!
As if to prove this point, Skeletor and Evil-Lyn literally leap from the top of the mountain down in front of them. There's a bit of really stupid banter.
You'll be ruling from a dungeon cell when I'm through with you, villain.
Villain? Really? Okay, you know, maybe Old Bonehead wasn't the most creative insult, but at least it was a fucking insult.
So He-Man leads the charge, and they're cut down in 2 seconds.
Great! They're dead! Bad guys win! We can go home now!
Oh, of course, the Deus Ex Machina, Sorceress, teleports them back to Castle Grayskull, and for some reason, Evil-Lyn's surprised by this.
Gone! But where? How? It's the Sorceress, you boob!
Boob? Seriously. There are plenty of names you could have called her that would have gotten past the censors, and yet you chose Boob as the name to call your only female henchman. Nice!
Anyway, Skeletor decides to send the Cosmic Comet to take out Grayskull, which, of course, the Sorceress already knows about. And at this point, Zagreus comes up with a brilliant plan. And by brilliant, I mean stupid.
If we could make another cosmic comet and fill it with the power of good, we might be able to use it to cancel out the evil in this cosmic comet.
Yes. Once again, they're going to take a ball of dirt and gas and imbue it with good. Leaving aside the sheer ignorance about the basic definitions of life, how the hell do you imbue a sentient rock with a nebulous concept like good? Oh, forget it. Let's just move on to the end of this turkey.
So they build a new comet with the leftovers of the rock creatures and imbue it with good by hugging it, apparently.
Thank you. Because of the goodness in your hearts, my heart beats again.
And it talks. Of course it does. Skeletor and company gloat for a while, and Zagreus tries to send the comet into the sky. He-Man tries to slow the Cosmic Comet down by throwing himself at it. Seriously, he throws himself at the comet and stops it in midair, in defiance of all known laws of physics, motion, and momentum. Oh, forget it. Let's move on. Zagreus gets the good comet in the air, and the two comets collide. This somehow makes the Cosmic Comet good again. And they both talk. With male voices.
Thank you all for bringing me back.
And thank you for helping me find my heart again.
Remember, this show has no homoerotic subtext. Nope, none here at all.
So the two comets take off and send the bad guys flying. Then, back at the castle, Zagreus gives Adam lessons in telekinesis. But of course, Adam loses his concentration and sends the balls flying after Orko for a hilarious conclusion. God, somebody please kill me.
Oh, thank God that's over. Actually, let me check something. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alright, so while this was the second episode aired, this was apparently the first episode that was produced. Okay, fair enough. They're still getting a feel for the characters and the plotting and all that. There's bound to be a few mistakes. Fair enough. Let's jump ahead to... here we go, episode 12, usually near the end of the first season of another animated series. Surely they've got all the kinks worked out by now, right?